were started in the year of 1636 in Massachusetts, isn't it? Before going to start the libraries, they started first of all the schools in 1636 at Massachusetts, and some places, developed places, Virginia, and uh, I know what we can say that in Connecticut, and in 17th century, the concept of democracy. Just I want to tell you here one thing, and when the industrial revolution came into the picture, definitely these industrial revolution will help to the libraries. Of course, this particular area may come into the UK. What is the intention for that? You know, the industrial revolution period time, many of the mechanics, many of the workers, those who are working in the industries, whenever they get the free time, whenever they get the little bit time or leisure time, what they have to do? They have to spend their valuable time with the libraries, with the reading rooms, with the schools, with the colleges. That's what these public library systems were established in the USA or UK in the 17th century or 16th century end and 17th century. They started the education systems. Later, they started the libraries. They started Benjamin Franklin clubs. What clubs? Reading clubs they started. Actually, in that we can show that social clubs. We can say that Junto club. What is the intention for these clubs? Clubs means the people are spending their time and sharing their views in particular area. That means social clubs. Benjamin Franklin started this social club. What is the use for this? When the people came into that particular club, they are spending the time with the around the people, at the same time sharing their views and their particular time, their particular views and opinions are sharing with the others, and simultaneously they need some time to read the books. They started the library for accessing the resources, for reading the books, by the reading the books, and to sharing their views, to sharing their ideas, to sharing their opinions along with the others means here they started their thinking, their debate was started from that particular reading room. That we can say that why didn't you organize a library, why didn't you start a reading room, why didn't you start a public library system? So they started a public library system. I think that 17th century and only 16 libraries, say sir, 64 libraries were established in the USA. And come to the 18th century, around support of the law. What is the intention here? And in 1835, New York State passed a library legislation. What is the use of library legislation? What is the use of library legislation means, sir? When the particular rule and law will come to the picture, come to the screen, these particular law will help out to the support the libraries. It may be financially, it may be law, it may be ration, or it may be whatever it may be. It's supporting to the libraries. So that was 1835. The New York State started library legislation in the 1835. They started around 600 change. That means 644 libraries were established in the area in 1851. In the 16th century, 17th century end, there was a 64 libraries. Come to the 1851, that means 19th century mid time, 19th century mid area, it come to the 644 libraries were established in the USA. And come to the small unit patterns, that means that we can say that four types of the system. Whatever the library that was established in the 1944, what is the intention? The libraries, state libraries and city libraries. That means state libraries, city libraries, there is a coordination between the resources. Come to the city libraries and district libraries, there is a coordination between them. And come to the third level, district libraries, that we can say small towns of the libraries, and come to the rural area, we can say. The fourth one comes to the limited period of the area, that we can say in our language, in our era, we can say that rural area, exclusive interior places also they start with the library. What is the intention of these four types of the library, small unit of the library to establish in the US means from the grassroots level to state level, there is a connectivity, there is a coordination between the these are all libraries. That is the intention of the establishment of the rural libraries and the city and districts, and come to the regional libraries, come to the state libraries, the coordination, the connection was there. And philanthropy of the libraries. See, the concept is started in the year of the 17th century. That we can say that um, uh, reading clubs in the junto, that we can say some people they come and share their views and reading the look at this is okay. Then you are going to help the or establish the library. One is we studied about the New York library. They started New York legislation, and before that the 64 library they come into the 644 library. That means there is a specific system law legislation is there. But what about others? And government along with the philanthropists also they help the libraries to establish the library. Already located libraries, that means existing libraries, they are libraries. And development of the library and establishment of the library. For these purpose, the philanthropists are helping to the library. That we can say, three, four people, we can say that they are the wonderful, they served to the development of the library. They spent millions of the rupees, or 18,000 libraries they were established. I can read out. 1848, Jacob Astage, he donated 4 lakh million rupees. And another one Henry E. Ankan. He this Jacob Astor, 1848, philanthropist. 4 lakh dollars he spent. 4 lakh dollars he spent to development of the library. Come to the Henry Huntington, huge spent of every penny for the growth of the Huntington library. And also here we can say that one strong room, they are preserve the old collection, they are preserve the manuscripts, they are maintain the waterproof collection in the that particular Huntington library. And one of the famous personality we can say that Andrew Carnegie. He's a Scottisian. He came from the UK and he settled in the USA, and he developed around 2,505 libraries. The establishment in his period, and he spent more money on libraries at the same time educational institutions in the USA. Jacob Astor, Hamilton, and come to the Andrew Carnegie. These people are helping to the public libraries in USA and essential services of the function. That means how these particular public libraries will help out means providing the information to the common people, that in our language we can say providing information, whatever the information we will discover, acquire the resources, and preserve the resources and disseminate the resources. That means where the information is available, we have to grasp it, and we have to preserve in the library, and we have to disseminate it to the users. Users means pattern those who are really required what type of information, what they are required. So that is the intention. So that's what they said. These public libraries will help into the providing information and reference services, guidance to the individuals to use of educational, cultural, and recreational information. That's what I said. Public libraries means it's a recreational center, it's a cultural center, it's an information center, whatnot, everything they can access. If that particular information is not available with us, what we have to do? We will guide them. We will show the path. That's what whenever the pattern or common people they may come into the library, they may ask, you know, our library is uh, you know public library. If the person is asked about the, I need the thesis of Lord Buddha, that we can expect? No, because it's not possible to available with us. What we have to do? We have to show the path. But we never say that no, we don't have. Just we don't do like that. Said that particular resources may available in the universities, or, or we can say that colleges, or we can say that research institutions you may get where it is Hyderabad or research center where it is located. We have to show the path. Whenever that's what I said, librarians say that no, that particular information is not available with us. They never show that, never say do like that. Yeah, Rajeshwari, Rajeshwari, yeah, okay. Come to the Library of Congress. What is the Library of Congress? See, every nation is having a national library. At the same time, the USA also is having a national library. That's the Library of Congress. It was established in the year of 1800, Washington D.C. That we can say, and the mainly the intention to establish these libraries intention is to cater the needs of the legislator. Who are the legislators? Legislators of the USA. Later, it was anyone can access. They converted to the National Library of USA. The Library of Congress was established in the year of 1800 at Washington D.C. The intention of to establish this library to cater the needs of the legislators of the USA. And later, this is converted to the National Library of USA. And this is the one of the largest producer of the bibliographical data, and one of the that we can say that world largest library, Library of Congress. And the huge collection, it was around 6,000 60,000 whenever they are going to start the library to the national library, from the legislative library to national library. At that time it was 6,000 60,000 collection was there, and 1870 it was recognized as a depository library. Just I want to say that what is the meaning of the depository library? And somebody says that copyright registration of registration act like that. So what is the depository library means? Sir? You take any nation, you take any nation. The author is going to write one particular book. He produced to the society. 4 copies, or 2 copies, or 3 copies has to support to send to the national libraries. And come to the India, we have to send 4 copies of the author new books to send to the under the tenure of the book act or deposit act. We have to send 4 copies to the 4 national libraries. And come to the USA, they have to send to the two 2 copies. One is Library of Congress, that's what depository center of the nation, USA nation. What about India? India is 4 copies. To whom we have to send it? One is National Library Calcutta, another one is uh, Chennai, third one is Delhi Public Library, fourth one is Bombay. These libraries we have to send, isn't it? And come to the American Library Association. See, in 1876, American Library Association was started. What is the intention of the association, American Library? Those who are the professionals of American formed together, and they established the American Library Association in 1876. The main person, Charles Cutter and Justice Winsor. Charles Cutter, Justice Winsor, and actually these particular idea was started from the Melvin Jews. So these three persons are the key persons to establishing the American Library Association. So what we have to think over on that, these area, you know, how what is the 16th century and come to the 17th century and Mossack sets and philanthropies and how much they are money spent on that and come to the Benjamin Franklin Club and come to the New York, how many libraries are there and after legislation how many libraries are there. Uh, Afterwards, Library of Congress and come to the American Library Association. That means what is the intention from the 16th or 17th century, how the libraries are inception in the USA. Now, now or earlier also they started the libraries. That's what we can say that the earlier quotation, the land of libraries, the land of libraries. That's what USA we can say that no, the land of libraries. Come to the UK, United States of Kingdom. The same thing, the 17th century, uh, you know, the 17th century only they started the libraries. I said that that's what, whenever the industrial revolution came into the picture, the Roberts Commission is saying that the Roberts Commission is saying that thing. See, what is the intention of the education, imparting English education to the Indians means here. Many people are even historians also says that the Britishers are required the technical persons to do work for their. So what they did it. See, one technical person means he has to came from the US means it's take financial and crunches at the same time they have to spend more time on that. But Indians is not like that. We can give little bit of money, we can expect or we can take more work from the Indian. That's what they given the chance to read the to learn the education to read the English education for minimum level that we can say technical skilled labor they produced from the India. Isn't it? The same thing after these mechanics or skilled labor or whatever it is. Usually they are working 8 hours, then or 10 hours. What about remaining 2 hours? Or whenever they will get the little bit time, what they have to do? They need some leisure, they need some entertainment, they need some specific requirements to refresh. What they have to do? They need some reading room, they need some newspaper, they need some education, some entertainment. How they will get? By the establishment of the libraries only we can expect such type of things. So that's what in Robert Comte also in 19th century they said that 1850 1600 mechanics are 1850 they said that the colonial or that we can say industrial colonies are requested to their management to establish the libraries. 600 mechanics institutes were started in UK to raise the socio-economic level of the people. So that's what the intention is to say that people people whenever they will get the leisure, whenever they will get the time to read, isn't it? To entertain for the entertain purpose or whatever it is, they want to read something. They may get enjoyment from the reading. They may get a reading, by the reading, they may get enjoyment. So that's what they need the establishment of the library. And come to the William Award effort for the legislation. These, 1850 that we can say that red letter of the British government, that England. What is the red letter? What is the intention of the British Public Library Act 1850? This was considered as a red letter in the history of the British libraries, that in the UK libraries history. What is the intention of this? The William Award and Joseph Brotherhood, the both members of the British Parliament were responsible for the enactment of this bill. What is the why they need of this particular 1850 red letter? that we can say that what in the British Public Libraries Act. That means to establish these public libraries in the around the UK and colonies, cities, or we can say that villages are remote areas also to establish the to start the libraries. That we can say that earlier they didn't say that directly libraries. If they need reading room, they converted later from the newspaper to small books, come to the big books, come to this like a establishment was enlarged, infused. The same thing, they started reading rooms. They required reading rooms. They requested reading rooms to get the leisure, to get the and enjoy with the reading of the area. And come to the Kenyan report, and come to these British Public Library Act 1850, as per the red letter. What is the intention? In the 19 comes to the 1950, it was around 5,000 libraries was established around the UK, isn't it? By this British Public Library Act 1850, they were established around 5,000 libraries in UK, and also they said that now what is the intention of the uh, Public Library Act means? See, these 5,000 libraries, 5,000 uh, reading rooms they started. But how, where we will get the money, where we will get the financial support? These public libraries will support to get the finance from the people only. How? We how to collect the cess, library cess, where we have to access. That means people whenever they are going to pay the property tax, whenever they are going to taxes, the same thing library says funds tax is there. Every year or every month we are paying for that. They started in the year of 1850 in the UK. Now in Telangana we can say 8 paisa we are paying the tax, 1 rupee on 8 paisa. For 1 rupee, 8 paisa we are paying the library cess. It is 2 rupees they paid the tax for the development of library to start the libraries. And come to the Kenyan report in 1927. And before that, the Great Britain, they started a Frederick Kenyan Library, British Museum. What he was the he was the librarian of the British Museum, British Museum Library. What is the Kenyan report? What is given? What he given the report in the 1927. The Kenyan is given the report proposal establishment of the see we said that 5,000 reading rooms they were started. The same thing, not only establishment of the reading rooms, to establish the libraries, and not only towns and cities. When we come to the district level, come to the education institutions also, come to the rural level also. That's what the Kenyan report strongly says that in 1927, the libraries, to decentralize the libraries which are located in the all areas of the people, all areas of the UK. That means everyone can access, even corner people, or town people, or district people, or village people. Anyone can access the resources. That is the intention of the greatness of the idea to establishment of libraries in all areas. In 1927, the Kenyan said that, and each region. That's what they said. Regions and coordination between the regional libraries. I said in USA they said that a state, district, state, central district, rural villages is like that. The same thing. Whatever the libraries were established, the library it is required Coordination is required. The coordination means, what is the meaning of the coordination? If the particular resources is not available with us, so our user, our pattern is going to come to your library. Just provide. You have to provide. That means the coordination is required between these libraries. And come to the Robert Committee 1959. The Robert Committee 1959, what he said, headed by the Sydney Roberts. What is the intention of the public library services? The England and Wales, these two states, what are the public libraries structure is there? What are the public library services are providing England and Wales, where we are in lack to providing the library services? What is the development? What we have to do and what we did it, and where we have to get the financial status, financial fund, and what we supposed to do, and whatever the resources, whether it is utilizing to the common people or not. So this Robert Committee in 1915 strongly says that they recommended wonderful things, how the library services are going on and serving to the library in the England and Wales, and come to the creation of the British Library. That we can say that Library of Congress established in the year of 1800. The same thing here also, one particular national library is required. Usually in 1854 or 1853, we can see the British Museum Library is one of the wonderful libraries that we can say that we feel means that at the time they feel that this is the national library. But come to the 1974 at that time, sorry, 1753 they established the British Museum Library, and come to the, see, the changing needs of the users, changing needs of the patrons. See, day by day the IT is impacted on all areas of the subjects, not only library science or history or anything. There is impact. The same thing, patterns also, their views, their opinions, their needs also changing as per their needs. Whether we are providing or not, we have to provide. That means we have to change it, we have to upgrade it, we have to learn many things, and we have to provide it as per the needs of the users. The same thing, the British Museum Library, which was established in the 1753, and this library was converted to the National Library in the 1972. What is the 1972? The library, whether what is the intention, what is the use means. See, we feel that the Library of Congress is the, earlier it was captain the needs of the legislation. But it is not like that. Whatever the wonderful resources, whatever the bibliographical information, which is preserving and acquiring and preserving, and give it to the common users, our researchers, our educators, or anyone, they may access the resource and provide the proper fund allocation to the library, and proper manpower is providing to the library, and at the same time maintenance of the library, that we can say that every day we have to maintenance in the self, whether the library is good or not, library cleaning or not, and at the same time book rectification is going on or not, and the same book everyday book testing. That's what the library maintenance, isn't it? Properly we are maintaining our. So the all are the giving the instruction, giving the guidance by this national library, British library, that we can say that in 1872 that's changed, and providing central cataloging services, and providing efficient central lending photocopying services. Whatever the important document is there in the national library, the remaining regional libraries, state libraries, the city libraries, district libraries, they may access from them. And I can say that the cataloging, centralized cataloging system. What is the centralized cataloging system means? One particular library may one particular library resources may access from the another library. These all library catalogs will be connected, or otherwise all libraries are connecting, or otherwise the one particular British National Library is making the network, and they are creating the catalog, and they are accessing from these particular resources where it is available, when it is available, who are going to access. Even I suppose to I am staying at the district of Adilabad. Even what is the resources are available with the city central library, that we have to, if it is central catalog system is there, we have to check whether this particular book is available, or otherwise I am staying Hyderabad, and we need the some Somaraju Rangaravu catalog is required, which is he belongs to the Khammam district, and he stayed at Bhadrachalam, and he wrote around 20 to 30 books, and that books also now restricted by the government of British at the time. I can say that two, three Rangoon Rowdy, two, three Burakatam, something, some stories are there. So I have to know. So from here, and I have to check from central cataloging system, but I have to check it whether Somaraj Rangaraj is there. See, if it is, see, this is the facility is the National Library and a British National Library, and constitute as a comprehensive collection of the book and manuscripts, periodicals, films, recorded matter, and whether printed or otherwise. And the library shall be as a national center for the reference, national center for the deposit library, national center for the reference library. Just like what if anyone visited the state central library, that we can say it is a registration of book act. We supposed to give one person, and we can say that it's a reference library. It's a state level reference library, state level center. Just like that, the British Library is played, is act as a uh, national center for the reference, national center for the comprehensive collection of the books. The library will carry to the sponsor, research, and all those things from this particular library. Even usually at the time 1870s and 90s, 1970s, we can say that they said that even these particular national research national library also is helping to the researcher to produce the quality of the research. How that much of aware in that time only, just we have to and come to the India. We thought and we learned about the uh, about the USA and UK, and come to the India. How, what are the earlier circulating libraries? What are the libraries are there, and where it was located, uh, uh, and how the library was started. We have to discuss, and we can say that Asiatic Society Library, established in 17th, that we can say that 18th century, that means the year of 1874. Another one is William Jones. This was established, and first pattern we can say that William Jones. I think that the time of Warren Hastings time, Warren Hastings time, they started at 1784. Uh, for Asiatic Society Library. This particularly um, research library, we can say that. And another one is Victoria Technical Library, Nagpur. Another one is Bombay, 1804, developed a good library. See, these particular, Bombay Library or Asiatic Society Library or Nagpur Library, or whatever, why they are established these particular area means already this area educated, or sociologically, economically, these particular areas is having a social movements. This is a national movement is going on for the freedom struggle, for the various movements was occurred in this particular region. That we can say Home Rule or Vande Mataram movement, or that we can say that salt satyagraham, and non-cooperation movement, and all those things was happened these areas. Uh, for their awareness. We can say social awareness. Come to the modern library movement in India. The Indian National Congress, whenever the Indian National Congress was started in the year of 1885, the people are concentrating on the education system. And even the Indian National Congress are also, they started the established the schools in the rural areas. They established the schools in the remote areas also. What is the use to establishing? They learn something, they read it something, what is happening going on around the world and around among the India and USA and UK and all those things. What is going on? What that we can say East India Company, what it is going on, what they did it, and earlier what happened. That means they read by the newspaper, they read by the book. How they are accessing means they are planning to establish the language. Even Indian National Congress also strongly supports, strongly recommended to establish the libraries in the India, India, in the rural areas, and they supported uh, uh, an Indian Library Association. Uh, you know, the All India Public Library Association organized national level conference and the Indian National Congress, Ayanki Venkataramanaya. He started one library legislation act. Actually, he planned, he made a one particular draft for the development of the libraries, public libraries, for Library Act. Isn't it? He planned, he is having a vision to how the public libraries have to run, how the public libraries have to emerge, how the public libraries to exist, how we have to strengthen it, how we have to establish new public libraries. IMP Venkatarama, he did a lot to the this particular public library system in India. And come to the India, uh, and this is the one step of the thing. Another step of the thing is Shivaji Maharaja Gaikwad. We can say that he is the first person to establish the libraries and simultaneously education system started in their kingdom. They started his kingdom. So first women schools they started and come to the schools they started, and he requested to all the people to come and learn the education, free education, and afterward he started the libraries. He started the libraries in whose kingdom, and and also he requested persons from the abroad to start a library schools also in Maharashtra. See, he is having that much of foreseeing that we can say that Maharaja Gaikwad he helped sorry not Maharashtra, Baroda. He helped a lot for the developing the libraries in India. He only started the first. He helped the education system, helped the libraries, and he requested to the library professionals and come to the Baroda state to establish library schools in the 1911 at that time only. So he is having that much of interest to develop the libraries. When the libraries will come to the uh, come to us, and definitely our people will learn. Our people will get more knowledge. Our people will and enlighten their knowledge and to rethink and they question the rulers, and they are strongly and they are participate in the national movement, a national freedom struggle movement. They feel that that is the intention to establish the library in the Baroda state. Shivaji Gaikwad helped a lot. That's what Alan Borden, W.A. Alan Borden, Maharaja Gaikwad, Baroda established the separate department of libraries in the 1910, initiated the system for the libraries in the state with the central library, and uh, established the town libraries, villages libraries, and school libraries also. He started. This is the vision to establish these libraries. And root causes. Here, one wonderful statement we get that libraries are roots and fruits of the society. Libraries are Public libraries are roots and fruits of the society. And earlier part of these century got should political conciliation. And we can say that from the establishment of the library, political renaissance, social renaissance, and many people may affected or impacted by these libraries. They changed a lot to support the various movements, social movements, and a political movement, and many movements which were happened in India and abroad and all those things. So that is the intention to establish the libraries in India, to the Calcutta Public Library. That's what they can say that in uh, 1902, that particular library is, they can say that Imperial Library. J. Stockel, the editor of the local daily, Englishman drafted a scheme for the establishment of a public library in Calcutta. Later, in 1902, 1901, it comes to the Imperial Library. 1948, this was changed as a National Library of India. Whatever the National Library now we are calling, earlier it was established in Dr. E.P. Strange House at Esplanade, Calcutta. The government of India put the final seal for the public library. Come to the 1902, we can say that this is Imperial Library. 1948, we can say that it's a national library. We read it about the Library of Congress, British Library, British Museum Library, that is British National Library, 1800, come to the 18, 1972, come to 1973, 1972, come to the Indian National Library, the Calcutta, how it was established and where it was established, the Calcutta, at the time of 1902, 1835, and come to the 1948, how it was changes, how it was merged one into the one, and now what is the shape of the public library, how now we are calling as it is a National Library of India, is located in Calcutta. And professional organizations, many professional organizations were helpful for the development of the libraries in India. American, what we call West Bengal Library Association and Indian Library Association. Uh, they struggled a lot for the development to establish the libraries or existing libraries, how we have to support to financial support and training to the library professionals, how we have to run systematically, also helped for the library professionals by this library library professionals organization. Come to the Advisory Committee of Libraries, the Ministry of Education, that we can say that KP Sinha, KP Sinha Advisory Committee. He, those who are appearing library science examinations for the Gurukuls or junior college libraries or degree college libraries or public libraries. Whenever I'm going to teach, you have to identify the years of the publication, what is the committee I'm reading, and how it is helping, and where it was established, who is the chairperson, who was who were they recommended and they nominated, what is the year we have to think over on that, we have to clean observe on that. The advisory committee, we can say that appointed by the government of India in 1957, A.P. Sinha, chairperson of this committee. What did he say that 25-year library plan for the government of India states levy, that may can the library says how much we have to put on the library says, and matching grant from the states to central government or state government or matching grants. If RRLF is there, 40% matching grant they will give you to development of the library. If state government will give 20%, the RRLF will give 40%. Scheme will be there. Scheme was there. And sometimes they give 50-50%, sometimes they give double, sometimes they give 70% based on the scheme they are providing. So that's what all amalgamation of the aided libraries in the system, enactment of the Library Act, all are considered, all are focused, all are stressed in the advisory committee 1957 and the Sinha committee. It was established by the government of India. There is a specific national policies required for the Rajaram libraries. That TP Chattopadhyaya was the chairperson. What is the specific policy from the national wide, not only state, national wide, specific policy? What is the state policy, national policy, where we have to establish the libraries? What is the rules for the library professionals? What is the rules for the establishment of the library? Who are the spending the money from the for the libraries? And what is the grants from the libraries from the state government and central government? And sometimes also aided libraries also there who are going to present if any government or now support from the to development of the libraries are there are everything in the they are mentioned in the this particular area. And also Raja Ram Mohan Rai Library Foundation. See, this is the we can say that one of the wonderful source to the development of libraries to it helping to the public libraries for the furniture or building purpose or accommodation purpose, and sometimes they will give financial support also. Sometimes they will give support to organize the seminars, national level, international level, state level also. They are providing financial support to the library professionals. And establishment of the libraries means I don't think so, but they'll give some financial support and matching grants from the Raja Ram Rai Library. We can expect we can expect from the we can access from the through procedural through proper channel. Definitely we'll get the support from the Raja Ram Mohan Library Foundation in 1972 were established. So come to the library legislations in India. So what is the legislations? Why legislation is required? Whether without legislation, public libraries they won't run, will run. But thing is, there is specific decision makers is required, specific law is required, specific protocol is required, specific procedure is required to establishment to run the libraries, existing libraries to run, to strengthen the libraries and to strengthen the professionals and to give financial support where we have to get the money or what is the role of central government, how much of the money is going to give us, and what is the system, what is the structure, national wide, state level, or district level, or city level, or rural level, or village level, what is the library system is there, who are going to go through that one, how they are going to run, and there is a specific system, specific procedure, specific policies required. That's what by this legislation, definitely these public libraries will help. The public libraries will get that we can say these public library acts as a statutory authority of the state, statutory authority of the states. See, the library system which executed by the other, see, the primary duty of the library libraries means that we can say that we have to provide the information to the pattern. Whatever the information is required from the library or we have to provide. We will provide, but thing is this is specific infrastructure is required where we will get what is the system and all those things. There is specific system, that is specific policies required. From these we can specific library legislation is required. What is the library legislation means? There is a constitute a proper administrative and supervisory body to the executive powers. Provide well organized library system for the state, district, and remote area. Provide study and a perennial source of the finance. That's what I said. where we will get the money, finance, and all those things. Administrative structure, how we have to do, and constitutive power of administration. Who are going to look after the chairman? Who are going to look after the director? Who is the boss for the district? Who is the boss for the village? Who is the boss for the uh, city central library? Just like that, the functions, objective of the library legislation, all those things. One of the library legislation will help out, will produce the objectives and functions and what we have to do. In that, they strictly mentioned that 1940, 1994 UNESCO Library Manifesto is focused on the library legislations are supporting to the public libraries, the finance from the central government or state government. I said one particular national policy is required. Yes, agree. It is required to development of the libraries from the nationwide, not only state, from the nation to village. It's required. There is specific policy is required. In that policy of the part, every state have to make one legislation to structure, to administrative, to financial support for the development of the public libraries in the states. That's what they strongly advise, that each and every state is required to library acts to development of the libraries, to run the libraries systematically, enlightenedly, and properly, we can say that. And five models of public library bills are there. One is 1930 Model Public Library by Dr. S.R. Ranganathan, and 1963 Model Public Library Bill MD Sane Committee, 1964 Model Public Library Bill the Working Group of Library Professionals, and 1995 Model Public Library and Information Service Bill by Dr. V. Venkatapaya, Velaga Venkatapaya. So what is the modern public library of S.R. Ranganathan? He says that in the first Asia conference he proposed two library acts. One is Bihar, another one is the um, what we call modern public library. West Bengal. He introduced the uh, West Bengal. He introduced the one particular model public library will be introduced in West Bengal. So uh, uh, they rejected it that time because they feel that Library Act is not required. In 1933, even Madras also rejected West Bengal and Madras in the era of Madras in 1933, and now even West Bengal also they rejected in the year of 1933. And model bill for the Minister of Education, Government of India. Dr. Sen, we can say that before going to Sen, the advisory committee, 1957, they say that India appointed a committee chairperson of the Dr. Sen. What is the intention of this establishment of the committee means? We have to establish each and every state act, because why? Because to support the public library system, to support the libraries in various manners, financial, administrative, and politically, and sociologically, whatever it may be, support is required. The support where we will get? By the act we make it, or even people involvement also is by the public library act we can expect. And model public library bill, Velaga Venkatapaya. The Velaga Venkatapaya also is the chairperson of ILA Central Committee. So he bill in the year of that we can say exactly 1991. That we can say exactly 1991. He prepared one draft model public library act. Of course, some one international conference he produced, and some changes from the users, sorry, some changes from the fellow professionals. He made a wonderful draft in the year of 1991, and he produced to the government. Though these many of the public library, model public library bill acts came into the picture. So some thing some only they accepted, some only they learned, some only the government of India some states will be that. Till now, I think that I have any data. I can say that only 19 libraries as on date they are having uh, library legislation. So I'll read it out. Just go through that one. Madras Public Library Act 1948 at 5 paisa for rupee and property tax. Andhra Pradesh Public Library Act 1960, 8 paisa. Karnataka 1965, 3% of the land revenue. Maharashtra 1967, no library cess. West Bengal, there is no library cess. In the year of 1979, and Manipur Public Library Act 1988, and Haryana 1989, and Kerala Public Library Act 1989, and Mizoram Public Library Act 1993, Goa also 1993, and Gujarat Public Library Act 2001, Odisha 2001, and Uttarakhand 2005, and Uttar Pradesh Public Library Act 2006, Rajasthan 2006, and Lakshadweep 2007, Bihar 2008, Chhattisgarh 2008, and Arunachal Pradesh 2009, and come to the Telangana in 2014 is considered as a Telangana Public Library Act. See, as on date, 90 to 20 libraries in the states only they are having Public Library Act. Out of 28 states, 7 giving Indian territory. Though this is our condition to uh, establishment of the library legislation in India. See, what is the preamble, apex body, and director and state level, and finance of the library services that we have to go through this one. I'll tell you. See, there is a specific preamble is required for the any constitution or any legislation that we can say select for the uh, library legislation in the state. Come to the Andhra Pradesh Public Library legislation. Earlier it was, we can say that 1955, 1948, what we call 1948 Madras Public Library, Public Library Act, 1955 Hyderabad Public Library Act. Coming to the convert or merging to the Andhra Pradesh Public Library Act in 1960. From that day onwards, there is specific preamble for the library legislation, and come to the structure of the libraries. We can take the even Gujarat, West Bengal, Kerala, and all those things. There is specific simultaneous equal structure will be there. Some slight changes was there as per the depends on their requirement. Come to the Telangana or Andhra Pradesh, we can say that we have to specific effects body is there. See what we can say that you come to the state level. One Grandalaya Parishad was there. Grandalaya Parishad chairman, which was nominated by the government of Telangana. The same government of Telangana, government of Andhra Pradesh. The same thing, director for the public library, the government system. And come to the every district is having a chairperson, Jilla Grandalaya Parishad. Every district having the chairperson, which was nominated by the government. And come to the even district level also, they're having the district level, and come to the village level, village levels also, or mandal levels also, they are having nominated posts of the library chairman. Up to mandal level is there, rural level also is there, but now it's not showing. Come to the here, one director is there, deputy director, and come to the two regional libraries are there. For the two secretaries for the regional library, come to the district level post. Here district chairman for the Jilla Grandalaya Parishad. Here come to the district secretary. He was the person of a government person. We can say that the senior library professional, as a promotion based, he will be considered. He will get the secretary of the district. They come to the state level, come to the mandal level also. Here, Mandala Grandalaya Parishad chairman will be there, was there. The same thing here. What we can say that librarian, grade 2 or grade 3 librarian is there. Come to the village level. Here also village chairman is there. Here also grade 3 librarian was there. The same thing. There is equivalent body. Whatever the government body is there, same thing. There is a nominated body there. What is the intention for that? To do like that means everywhere we have to coordinate with the people, coordinate with the nominated chairperson. He is having some powers, he is having government. So what we have to do? So whatever the decisions are going to take to develop the library, and sometimes we are going to give the money from the director of public libraries, the whatever the money to allocate to the up to uh, rural libraries, and whatever the selection process also, the requirement of the that what we can do, group selection policy also, the state government, the state level, the director or the deputy director, or whatever it may be, they selected the resources as per the requirements, where from the village, from the mandal, from the district, they'll get their demand, they will get their requirement, then put it to the director table. They say these the following which is required for the our users. So from the Raja Ram Mohan Roy Library Foundation, every year or every 2 years once, twice in a year, yearly once or 2 yearly once, they will give some book selection procedure, and they will buy at that time their requirements. See, each and every one. See, who is the authority for the um, uh, village library means Mandal library. Mandal library, who is the authority means district secretary. District secretary come to the regional or deputy director or director. This is the procedure apex body and district level body is there. Come to the nominated means state Granthalaya Parishad chairman, Jilla Granthalaya Parishad chairman, come to the uh, mandal, come to the village. Equivalent structure will be there. What is the use? Where will you get? These two people will sit, they'll get the decision, the says how they are collecting, and what we have to do, what are the administrative steps we have to take, what are the financial steps we have to take, and what are the source where we will get, what are the uh, you know, uh, development, expositoral development. We can say establishment of the building, establishment of the racks, establishment of the all those things, and we have to take the decisions between the public representatives and government people. So this is the structure of the state government. There is slight changes in the other states, but as this, the structure will be was like the structure was like that only. And delay of the library legislation. Just we discussed about the 28 states, 7 union territories, though 20 states, not even 20 states, they are uh, having library legislation. What about remaining states? What we have to do? Why we are getting the delay on that? Because whatever the amount we are spending on the public library is very less. We can say that, and we are collecting the each and every penny, each and every library says from the all the person. Even library legislated states, not like even they don't have library legislation state also they are collecting the library. Whether we are properly spending on that or not, we have to think over on that. See, this library legislation is one of the source to allocate the budget and to prepare even a specific national library policy. We have to strongly recommend them. There is a specific national library policy is required. And if that particular library says he is not supposed to help, supposed to sufficient, what we have to do? The central government or state government have to provide them additional amount, or the amount library says, or the amount how to allocate it from the educational institutions or from the government. That we can say that Kotari commissions and the Radhakrishnan commission says that 6.5% of the total education budget, 6.5% how to allocate it to the libraries. It is mandatory. Whether we have when we are going to provide this information, no, definitely, definitely, the libraries will come. The libraries will change as per the requirements of the users, as per the needs of the users. Whether we are doing that or not, we have to think over on that. And simply we have to calculate it. The Telangana is collecting the 8 paisa and 1 rupee. And in the recession, in the period of that we can say that now demonetization period, they collected around 1300 crores or 1400 crores from the Hyderabad state, Hyderabad town, Hyderabad people. What happened? I know they paid 1300 or 1400 crores rupees. In that, how much of the money we have to get? I mean, each rupee, 8 paisa we supposed to get. But there is this amount the government spent to the library. Nominal amount they spent to the library. 8 paisa means around 200 crores or 300 crores is supposed to be. So not only Telangana, everywhere is like that only. But some states we can say that around Kerala and now the Delhi government is planning to develop the libraries, and even Karnataka is so well fine to run the library now. Uh, Two Telugu states also planning to develop the library. We hope that definitely the Library Act will help out to the development of the libraries and public libraries, even administratively, financially, and policy making, whatever it may be. Without that, the public life, that's what I said, this is the basic requirement for the common people, basic requirement for the common people. And these public library services are root and fruits of the society, roots and fruits of the society. When the root was good, the fruits will brighten, isn't it? This is the intention of the public libraries, and inception of the public libraries in USA and UK and India. How the public library systems, public library acts was happened, who are held for the public library acts in various states, and what is the role of Indian Library Association, what is the role of American Library Association, what is the role of Library Association, UK, that 1876, 1977. Just like that, the associations are helping to association means the library professionals associations are helping to the development of the libraries, and simultaneously to upgrade to upgrade the upgrade the knowledge by giving the special training programs to the library professionals, and simultaneously they are representing to the governments, they are representing to the decision makers to support the library, to develop the library, to run properly, uh, no, uh, to establish the new libraries in the uh, states. That is the intention. The professional associations are helping to the library development. Their role is there. There definitely we can say that the library professionals are playing a pivotal role in the development of the libraries, to establishment of the libraries in all over India. That we can say, I can say some professional associations in two Telugu states. One of the wonderful thing we can say that Andhra Pradesh Library Association, uh, whatever the library movement spread all over the India because of Andhra Pradesh Library Association. The father of Indian library movement, we can say that Dr. Ayanki Venkataramanaya, uh, we can say Gadicherla Hadisar Gotama Ramarao, the great two stalwarts, they are helpful for the library movement and all over the nation. And the same thing come to the Telangana, we can say that ALSD, Academy of Libraries and Documentation. Another one is Telangana Library Association. These are the library associations are helping to the to run the libraries, to giving the and the support to the public libraries, and they also helping to the development of the library. The role also is there to convince the government, to convince the authorities, to convince the decision makers to support the libraries. And this is the another thing which was happened. And next we'll move for the another lesson in the next class. In today class is over. Anyone want to say any queries? Just you post it. There's no problem. I can give the answers. Anybody is there? Anybody is there?